Alright, in today's video we're going to be talking about one of the most important areas of engagement, which are the feet. We need to make sure people are using this as a foundation to doing most of their exercises, and as trainers we need to be making sure that we're really paying attention to that, as we have lots of different things going on and using different pieces of equipment. Sometimes we can lose sight of that. Okay, so we want to make sure people are pushing through their feet equally through their heel, also the ball of their foot, and specifically the knuckle of the big toe. So we just want to make sure that we're nailing those and paying attention to those. We'll go through our different foundational movements and give you a few details on how we can look for that and what we can do to make sure that we're getting the point across to how important this stuff is. Before we do that, a couple things that happen with clients and reasons why they struggle to push through their feet properly is because a few different reasons. The exercises are very difficult, coordination, so they just don't pay attention to how they push through their feet because they're moving, twisting, lifting, balancing maybe. So we want to make sure that we're picking appropriate exercises, but knowing that ahead of time, we can guide them a little bit better. Okay, so that's one reason. The second reason, and this is probably the biggest reason, is that people move too quickly when they exercise. So we've got to be able to slow them down, allow them to pay attention to what they're doing with their feet, and then after they've got the foundation of pushing through their feet, they can progress. So let's take a little bit of time to go through each exercise, the first one being the squat. Some things typically that happen in the squat: we get to the outside of the feet, or we get to the inside of the feet. The heels may come up, the toes may come up. So when Katie's squatting, I'm going to be checking it out. A few things you can look at before you look at the feet is what the knees are doing. The knee, see the knees going out? Let's check out the feet. Okay, so we're pushing towards the outside of the foot. So in this case, I would cue her to try to push through the insides of your feet a little bit. As you go down, slow down so that you can feel it. Inhale down, exhale up. Good. And if I needed to, if it didn't work that time, I'd get right down here and I'd say push through your foot, push to the inside of your foot, pushing into your foot. I don't want these knees, or try not to have these knees coming out. I may put my hand here, this will help, but my eyes are really going to be here because that's going to dictate more of what that knee is going to do, which is the most important thing about pushing through your feet, is creating that proper chain all the way up. Okay, so if her knees come in, I know instantly when I see those knees come in that typically something out here is going to lift. So I can check that out, go ahead down. I notice a little gap in her shoe. I'm going to have you push through your foot, push through the outside, push through the outside, and we want to fix that. And so you may have to get down there, be really hands-on so that they can really tell what you're talking about. You say push through the outside of the foot, that might not register in their mind. And another important thing is to check it out on the outside, or from the back side. So if somebody's maybe jumping forward, you can really get a good idea by looking at their feet from behind. So I'm just going to have you do a rep and just jump and land with your knees coming in. So as soon as that happens and she lands, I can see this part of her sneaker right here. I can put my finger right under it. That's a telltale sign that the knees are caving in. We're in big trouble. Again, it's pushing to the outside. So I'm going to stop this person, let them know, hey, your knees are coming in. We want to push to the outside of the feet. Go ahead and do another one. Checking it out. Still came in a little bit. And so we just want to keep letting them know and giving them feedback that it's better, but we still got a little bit more work to do. And the same thing if the knees go wide, you can see really good detail from being behind their feet on what the heels are doing. Okay? Same deal with picking up the toes. So if we see the toes up, we're cueing them to push through the ball of their feet, and that's going to help keep their knees in line as well. So let's set up a lunge. This is a very, very important exercise to make sure the foundation of this front foot is in line. There's other things going on, but the big deal in controlling this knee from moving is pushing through the ball of the foot here and the entire heel. So go ahead down, go ahead up. Again, we can watch the knee or watch the foot. The knee's wiggling. Let's check out the foot and what's going on. The knee may go out, the foot's going to follow, okay? Or the foot lifts up and the knee follows. Just the opposite. So we really need to be pretty nitty-gritty on getting this fixed. So those are definitely off, but get right down here, okay? Get down there, let them know. If you need to, that knee's going out, you can come right over here, okay? You go down straight, you're not gonna hit my hand, okay? So be proactive about getting down and on their level and getting your hands so that you can really show them what you're looking for, because sometimes that makes the biggest impression, and then the next time they remember that, and then you no longer have to fix that for them, and then we can progress from there. The next thing I want to show is push-up. So not so much about how you're pressing through the entire foot, but really trying to stay on the toes. I'm going to have Katie grab the TRX. This is a big one for people. So she just sets it up. We're going to set up proper form. Go ahead. I'm going to coach her to be on her toes. Okay? So right now she's on her toes. What we see a lot, go ahead, is that these heels stay close to the floor. Don't want that. Typically the hips stay up, shoulders come back, and we're not in the best position to build full body strength. So I'm going to have you up on your toes, and I might come right down here beside somebody. Go ahead. Or if I see that they bring your heels back towards the ground when they come up, go ahead and do another rep. I might come over here and just stick my foot up. I'll let them know, hey, my foot's right underneath you. Be careful. But this is how I want your toes to be. It's more like doing them off the floor. So we're strengthening the feet. We're strengthening the ankles, working on a little mobility there so that we're not flat-footed. And then this really happens on the Bosu, and I'm going to show you this just because it's a telltale sign. As soon as those heels drop, go ahead and drop your heels. The shoulders instantly go back, and typically the hips come flying up. So I'm going to have you shift your shoulders right up over there. Very good. I'm checking it out. Go ahead down. Good. One more time. Just go back down your heels. So if you see somebody with their butt up in the air, yeah. So you can see how bad that really looks. And their shoulders back. Sometimes you just got to come back here and say, hey, I want you to just shift up onto your toes a little more. Good. Brace. It's going to be a little harder. And go a little bit slower this time. Inhale down, exhale up. Okay? So the feet and the alignment of those toes are really going to be important. And how close your heel is to the floor. And instantly you can put someone into a really good position. Okay? And now we're going to do a row. Row, there's not a whole lot to talk about with feet, but typically we want to get somebody so that they can do that with their heels in and toes up. You may start someone with their feet flat and their stance a little bit wider. Go ahead and do that. Good. So this might give them a little bit more foundation. Okay? If I see that on somebody, it's a little bit easier. You say, hey, Katie, just bring your feet in just a little bit. It's going to be a little bit harder. You're going to have to brace a little bit more. Good, that's a little bit easy. Now I can coach her, hey, let's try to get on the heels, toes are up, brace tight, straight line. Really good job, you're not shrugging. But again, I'm looking at the feet to see what I can do to challenge her a little bit more. Well done. Big one right here is the kettlebell swing. Okay, same deal as a deadlift, but I want to show you the swing because that's typically when people really get to the outside of their foot because their knees are going to bow out, and it might just be that they're nervous of hitting their knees. So I want to talk them through that process. So go ahead and do a couple regular kettlebell swings. Good job. Everything's in line. Now we're going to do a couple where those knees go flailing out. And for Katie, it's probably hard for her to do, but there you go. Inhale down, exhale out, and rest. So you can hopefully see instantly, as soon as her knee went out, you can see those feet. And so to fix the knee, you can talk about inner thighs, but really, I can talk to her about pushing through the knuckle of the big toe, the ball of the foot, or the inside of the foot. So go ahead down. Good, we're going to try to push through here, inhale, exhale. Good job, really cementing your foot down, and rest. Good work, okay? So that is something that you really want to pay attention to in the kettlebell swing because that's grounding you, making them use their inner thighs, making them brace a little bit tighter, and taking away the motion of those knees going out, which is not good for anybody, okay? And then finally, we have the exercise of the ball slam. Similar to what's going on with the kettlebell swing. Good, we're going to go up on the toes, come all the way back down. Very good, so right there, that's a great ball slam. Our knees are staying in line. Now what typically will happen is knees go out, all right? The ball's coming down, the knees go out, and everything's turned and twisted all the way up. Okay, so if I see those knees, I'm looking at the feet. It's kind of the same deal as the rest of them. Squatting, jumping, slamming, kettlebell swings. Right, I need to make sure that I coach how she presses through her feet. So go ahead and do those wide again. Good. So your knees come out a little bit, Katie. I'd like to see you keep them in a little bit. You go ahead and go up. Okay, still hit my hand. Let's try to keep this knuckle of the big toe down. Go maybe a little bit slower for me. There you go. Good, 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 good. Keep doing it just like that. So slowing it down, taking your time, being hands-on, pressing on the toes, having your hand next to the knee. will all play big roles in how you can get somebody to be in better alignment. So we're talking about pressing through the feet today. Really focus on it. Sometimes our eyes can be more on the upper part of the body because this is kind of where more of the fun stuff is happening, or the dynamic or the variations can happen, and we may lose sight of that. So when you're eyeballing somebody, start at the feet. It's the foundation of our movements, especially when we're going heavy. Slow people down. They're not getting it, and you see their feet wiggling, their knees wiggling. You just got to stop them for a second. Let them know what's going on. Be hands-on, and you'll have a lot of success with helping people build confidence, strength. Their knees won't hurt, their hips won't hurt, hopefully their back doesn't hurt. But pay more attention to those feet. It's a huge area of engagement, and keep changing people's bodies' mechanics.